What have you done as the CEO? What have you done to the business as a whole? What have the biggest challenges been to re-engineer that around that personalised customer experience?
I think it starts with knowing who you are and who you're not, and having a rudder, having a compass, I think is how you expressed it before, and having a sense of direction. We know who we are, and we know who we're for. We're for the less affluent consumer in the UK, and we're here to give her an upgrade over what she'd otherwise be able to afford. And that we try and make sure that simple strategic direction goes through everything that we do. But obviously there's been a bit more to transforming a dusty old catalogue retailer into something resembling a digital player than that. And you can look at challenges in process, in people, in culture, in systems, in process, for example. A catalogue business is set up to dump stock into a warehouse 4 times a year. On a digital, you need to have a continual flow of new product. I won't bore everyone present with the supply chain challenges of that, but it's not trivial. Probably the biggest one is the people and cultural change. We've arguably moved from the slowest and simplest backwater of retail to the shark tank of e-commerce, the fastest changing, the most competitive, and the most complex. And that's obviously required some new blood in the business, as well as a rethink for lots of people who've been there a while.
Yeah.
I mean, we think everything is different online, and we've got our hands full, desperately trying to stay on top of everything that's changing and how fast it's changing online. You can do things online around knowing your customer and tailoring the experience and testing your way to success that you just simply can't do in any other environment. So, last thing we need is the hassle of stores. I think the last thing I'd say on that is that some lazier retailers, there are plenty of obviously very good retailers, but there are some lazy ones, and they imagine that they're somehow protected against online because they can do things that online can't. That if they sell sofas, for example, the customers are always going to want to bounce up and down on the sofa in a store. People are always going to be better inspired to buy something they didn't know they wanted before they walked into a store, and you're always going to get better service in a store. I'd say some of the things that we're hearing about at the moment around data and personalisation and AI and VR, a lot of those traditional received wisdom advantages of a bricks and mortar store are eroding fast, and some of them have gone already.
One thing that I just want to pick up on there, because you mentioned culture. Now, the very fact that you involved 5,000 people in choosing those values, it says quite a bit about culture. There's the famous saying that culture is strategy for breakfast. So if you could sort of address that, but also how do you use this, again, as the CEO, balance that long-term compass, building the culture, building that your strategy, which you clearly have, with the pressures of a short-term, increasingly more real-time business environment?
Gosh, I think it starts with having this keel, this sense of direction that everyone understands. Everyone understands where we're going as an organisation, they're part in it, and everyone has signed up to these common attitudes and behaviours along the way, which gives us direction and glue. But paradoxically, what that allows you to do is to let go of quite a lot of what previously would have been command and control management means. And what we try and do is allow people plenty of freedom within that framework, so you get the best out of very different sorts of people. And we've generally found, in fact, I'm struggling to think of when we haven't found it, that the more I've got over my personal discomfort with letting go of control, and other managers have done the same, the more we've done that, the more energy and innovation we've released in the business. And it can't be directionless, it has to have that direction, has to have that glue, but as long as you've got that, we've always been amazed by the results. I mean, we're taking our first forays into agile working at the moment, for example, which are blowing me away with again, the innovative power and the energies that they're releasing in the organisation. So we're very, very far from being the finished article here. But just having that constant direction, that constant glue, I think allows you to give people that flexibility. We've tried experiments. And where we've tried experiments, we've picked people who are willing and to give it a go, and then everyone in the organisation has seen how well it's gone, and now everyone wants a piece of it. So it's not me sitting in a corner office sort of mandating tomorrow morning everyone should be agile. It's quite the opposite. It's getting people kicking down my door saying I want it in my patch because it works in Fred's.
I think that's absolutely a critical point of how do you function successfully in today's economy. Is that sort of more iterative test and learn?
Definitely.
And without a doubt, what people navigate towards is success.